This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Food, fireworks, and freedom. We do hope you enjoyed the 4th of July as the holiday winds down. Good evening to you at 11 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starantino. We start tonight at 11 with an ongoing investigation in downtown Indianapolis.
The fire department and Metro Police say an arsonist is responsible for 2 fires set early Tuesday morning, and the suspect is still out there tonight.
RTV6's Graham Hunter is talking to neighbors who say they are on high alert.
It's crazy. I think, especially since it's an arsonist, it's kind of scary.
Nick Arcolio woke up to the aftermath.
I rode my bike right up to the house that burned down, and everybody was there just picking up the ashes.
Our cameras were rolling as firefighters worked to put out the flames at this home on Pennsylvania.
Their side of the house was completely demolished.
Just a few blocks away on Talbot, this same night, a second fire burned. A spokeswoman for the Indianapolis Fire Department says both fires were intentionally set.
It's pretty frightening when you have a fire, obviously, because the family next door has a young child.
Eric Patterson lives next door to where the Talbot fire happened.
So when you have things like this happen, it just feels a little scary to residents down here.
No one was injured, but IFD wants people to check that their smoke detectors are working and that everyone have in place a well-practiced evacuation plan.
I got up at midnight, 1 in the morning, and drove down the street the other day just kind of watching to see if I could spot anybody.
One person was detained and questioned by investigators the night of the fires and released.
This is like a really public street, too, so, I mean, it's well lit. Everyone's driving by, so it's kind of crazy. Somebody just walked right up and started a flame off that.
Rumors of how the fire started are spreading on social media, leading to change in the community.
It said in a couple of the posts that he's like lighting the porch furniture on fire, so we moved that to the back.
The damage from the 2 fires is estimated to cost well over $100,000. Reporting from downtown Indianapolis, Graham Hunter, RTV6.
And IFD says people living inside the home on Pennsylvania were warned about someone on their front porch by their Ring doorbell. If you think you know something about who started the fires early Tuesday morning, call police or Crime Stoppers. That number is 317-262-8477.
I think everyone can go to sleep with a smile on their face. We made it through the 4th of July with no rain.
It was steaming hot.
It's a win.
Yeah, a lot of humidity, heat, but no thunderstorm. So that's good news. Let me just show you some of the downtown traffic as you look here from left to right. Illinois on the left-hand side, then Meridian right in the middle, Pennsylvania, and that's Delaware on the right-hand side with all the traffic moving straight north out of downtown. 89, the magic number today. Didn't quite hit 90, but for all practical purposes we did, because you add in the humidity and our heat index values, low to mid 90s. Still 81 degrees right now in Marion, Kokomo, 80 degrees. Temperatures will not cool off too much. They'll be in the low to mid 70s overnight. It's still 82 in the Seymour. We checked the radar. We did have a couple pockets of showers, one in Howard County pop up recently, but overnight most areas will stay dry. We'll all stay warm for these overnight lows. The change tomorrow, our thunderstorms become a lot more widespread in the afternoon tomorrow. We'll look ahead at changes for the weekend coming up.
See you soon, Kevin. Thank you. Indianapolis is changing how it handles complaints about animals in trouble after a dog died chained up in its own backyard on the west side. A warning, some of the images we are about to show may be difficult to look at. Jim Honeycutt called animal control 2 days last week after he noticed a neighbor's dog tethered and tangled outside in the heat. About 90 minutes after calling on the second day, Jim saw one of the dogs, Flash, on the ground and not moving. So he messaged the dog's owner to come home and called the Mayor's Action Center too. By the time Animal Care Services responded 16 hours later, Flash was dead.
I was pretty angered that day. I was trying to, be as nice as I could. I was mowing the grass when the homeowner came by, and I gave him a few choice words. And so, I mean, I try to keep the peace. We got to live next door to them, but I think they know how I feel about this issue.
Call 6 Investigates took this case to the head of Animal Care Services. Katie Trenopole says Jim's first call to the city was characterized as a standard animal neglect run. When Jim called the city to say Flash wasn't moving, the Mayor's Action Center emailed an IACS supervisor to escalate the complaint rather than calling.
The time that she got that email and updated the run status or priority to a higher priority, unfortunately the dog had already passed away. So we have had conversations with the Mayor's Action Center on how we can address that issue in a more timely manner.
The Mayor's Action Center released this statement regarding the case, quote, "At the time of this case creation, email escalation was the correct protocol agreed upon by ACS. We are currently working with ACS to open another communication processes for these situations in the future."
A memorial will be held tomorrow honoring an IMPD officer killed in the line of duty. A suspect shot and killed Officer Perry Wren on July 5th, 2014. The ceremony starts at 1:30 at Crown Hill Cemetery, where Wren is buried. Mayor Joe Hogsett and Police Chief Brian Roach will speak at this event.
Well, details are not clear yet, but a public memorial will be held for a woman who survived the Holocaust, then dedicated her life to spreading the message to forgive but never forget. Eva Moses Kor died in Poland today while on a trip that included the concentration camp where she was held as a child. She was 85 years old. Kor lived in Terre Haute and is well known in Indiana and across the world. She was taken to Auschwitz when she was 10 years old. Her parents and 2 sisters were killed there. Kor's son says his mother continued to touch people until her very last day.
We were at Auschwitz and she told a very very moving speech at the selection platform, and somebody in the front was crying. And she said, "Why are you crying?" Should be asked. I survived.
Thanks to Kor's efforts, a law requires history about the Holocaust to be taught in Indiana high schools. She's also known for opening the Candles Holocaust Museum in Terre Haute. For more reaction, remembrances, and to learn more about Eva Kor's impact, go to the RTV6 app.
A visit to a cell phone store turned terrifying for 2 workers and a customer after robbers held them at gunpoint. Now police are asking for your help identifying the suspects. These are surveillance pictures from the T-Mobile store on North Town Center Road in Mooresville, where the robbery happened yesterday afternoon. Investigators say 2 suspects forced the employees and customer to a back room where they cleaned out a safe and cash registers. The robbers were seen leaving in a silver 4-door car with temporary paper plates, driven by a woman. If you have info, call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS.
Metro police are looking for suspects after a drive-by shooting on the east side of Indianapolis. Police say the victim was shot several times at 13th and Oxford Streets around 7:30 tonight. They were taken to Eskenazi Hospital. Now, we are working to learn how badly the person was hurt.
4th of July is almost over, but you'll still hear lots of fireworks in the days ahead. They're still legal through next week in communities across central Indiana. That means it will continue to be a difficult time for many people who suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. Nicholas and Catherine Remke both have PTSD. Catherine's PTSD is caused by events in her childhood. Nicholas's trauma started after he joined the Marines and faced combat in Afghanistan. For him and many other veterans, fireworks are a trigger.
You immediately react as you would back then. It's really jarring. It creates a lot of anxiety. Your heart rate spikes. You start sweating, and it's really jarring.
Remke says he does not want people to stop celebrating or stop setting off fireworks. He just asked the public to help him and other veterans by obeying fireworks ordinances that are in place. You can find a list of fireworks times and rules on the RTV6 app.
If your neighbors are not obeying fireworks ordinances, do not call 911. Like many dispatch centers around the country, the center in Johnson County is overwhelmed with non-emergency calls this time of year. If lines are busy with fireworks complaints, it takes time away from true emergencies. And in those situations, minutes can be the difference between life and death.
You could be tying up a line for somebody else that is been in an accident, or their house is on fire, or a child's drowning in a pool. So we ask that you save the 911 lines for those type of calls, and you can just call our non-emergency line.
Non-emergency lines vary by location. In Johnson County, the number is 317-346-6336. In Marion County, you can call simply 311.
Communities across central Indiana celebrated the 4th of July with fireworks shows tonight. So here's a look at the display in Geist. It capped off an all-day event with food and activities. The event was called Blast on the Bridge. The fireworks were set off on the Fall Creek Road Bridge.
Well, thousands of people gathered downtown in Indianapolis to watch the Freedom Fest fireworks. It was a day-long celebration for many families. A veteran shared with us what the 4th of July means to him.
The history of it, the independence of our country, my military service, and the fireworks. And it's one time in the year where people unite as a nation to celebrate a true historic day.
And there are more holiday celebrations over the weekend. You can find a full list on the RTV6 app.
We are Americans, and the future belongs to us.
President Trump shares a message to the country during the much talked about and controversial July 4th celebration in the nation's capital.
Next, our Hiring Hoosiers career coach shares secrets to success when it comes to job interviews.
And start preparing your pitch now. Shark Tank is coming to Indianapolis. Producers will hold an open call on July 16th at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. For more info, go to theindychannel.com. You're watching RTV6 News at 11. We'll be right back.
Let's get more talent in. We can always use that.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Welcome back. Tonight, Hiring Hoosiers is helping you prepare for that big interview. Our career coach says confidence is key.
Go into the interview with the attitude that you are the one they want. Think like the boss. Show them your value. Look them in the eye and be confident. Your body language will say a lot. So stand tall and hold your head high. Everyone is nervous at first, so just be yourself and let them see your wonderful personality. Know a little about the company before you go. Read about the business. Learn about its history. Try to ask a question or make a comment. For example, I just read about that project in the newspaper. This shows them that you are interested in more than a paycheck.
Our coach says one of the best things you can say during an interview is that you want to work for the company because you believe there is potential for advancement. For more career resources, go to hiringhoosiers.com.
The Justice Department has until tomorrow to explain how it plans to move forward to comply with the Supreme Court's ruling on the 2020 census. Last week, the High Court blocked the administration from adding a citizenship question to the census, and the Justice Department announced census forms were being printed without the question, "Are you a U.S. citizen?" But then yesterday, President Trump tweeted saying officials are not dropping the question, creating some confusion.
The president, for whatever reason, either did not accept or did not fully understand what his staff was saying about not going forward with this.
The Trump administration argued the census question is needed to better enforce the Voting Rights Act. Chief Justice John Roberts is calling that reasoning contrived. Vice President Mike Pence celebrated Independence Day with a group of new Americans. He spoke at a naturalization ceremony in Washington, D.C., where 44 people became U.S. citizens.
It's remarkable to think of the journey you've traveled on. You come from 26 different countries. We've heard them called in the roll, Bolivia and Morocco, Vietnam, and Mexico, and Afghanistan. I'm also told you come from just about every walk of life. There's an electrician among you, a banker. There's a college counselor, an IT engineer, and even an Uber driver. But all of you aspired to be Americans.
This week, the U.S. will welcome 7,000 new citizens in naturalization ceremonies across the country.
A new addition to Independence Day celebrations in Washington, D.C. this year, President Trump's Salute to America. ABC's Trevor Alt shows you how the event unfolded, including the president's 4th of July speech.
In what he said would be the show of a lifetime, President Trump's Salute to America bringing thousands to the National Mall. The president himself speaking from the Lincoln Memorial.
Freedom, we remember that all share a truly extraordinary heritage. Together, we are part of one of the greatest stories ever told, the story of America.
In a light but continuous reign, the president honoring each branch of the military with important moments from their history, songs, and flyovers. The president's remarks highlighting the American spirit and the country's people, past and present.
Americans love our freedom, and no one will ever take it away from us.
As the day's festivities unfolded, the president's critics also on hand, including protesters flying this baby Trump balloon. The president's political opponents also criticizing the event, accusing the president of making it partisan by giving VIP tickets to big dollar donors. Also stirring controversy, those tanks and armored vehicles brought in to showcase America's military might.
I think we need money to go into rebuilding our infrastructure. I'm not quite sure that we need money to go in to put tanks in downtown Washington, D.C.
But the president sidestepping politics in his remarks, praising American heroes, pioneers, and service members.
And our nation is stronger today than it ever was before. It is its strongest now.
President Trump has wanted a large-scale military display like this since he saw something similar in France back in 2017. Today, the president became the first to make a formal 4th of July address in Washington, D.C. since President Truman back in 1951. Trevor Ault, ABC News, Washington.
Well, the dynasty continues. The defending champs took home the titles once again in the annual Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. On the women's side, Miki Sudo won her 6th straight competition, eating 31 hot dogs and buns. And in the men's event, Joey Chestnut took home the mustard belt, eating 71 hot dogs and buns. He's won 11 of the last 12 competition. Chestnut credits growing up with 5 siblings as part of that training.
The video of him.
Did you have to close your eyes there?
Down. Yeah, I had. Ugh.
It's dip the bun and then eat in the water. That helps.
Pretty amazing stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, he's
Soggy bread.
71, yeah. 71.
I have so many questions.
Hopefully you didn't overeat today, but you had plenty and enjoyed the 4th of July. Dry day, warm, but overall, what you would expect for 4th of July. Just want to show you how the streets have gone quiet now, and the traffic, heaviest traffic, is let up. Everybody moving north, south, west, and east out of downtown. I show you the radar, not because I think it'll be loud overnight. It may still be loud in your neighborhood now, not from thunder, but still some fireworks ongoing. Temperatures overnight stay in the 70s. Warm tomorrow, about the same as today. The thing that could change that would be the timing of thunderstorms in the afternoon tomorrow. Then as we get to the weekend, thunderstorms still likely Saturday. You'll begin to notice the change in both temperature and humidity Sunday and Monday. The 2 more comfortable days in the forecast. Still very high humidity next 2 days, and then you just kind of follow the meter here as it goes downward, and we get more comfortable conditions early next week. Tomorrow and Saturday, most likely time for rain will be in the afternoon and the evening hours. Any thunderstorms that develop have that heavy rain potential because the humidity is so high. Sunday, rain chances diminishing. Then I think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all likely to be dry. Temperatures start in the 70s tomorrow. They'll make their run at the upper 80s. Again, it may get cut off by afternoon thunderstorms that develop after about 1 o'clock. I think that's time when temperatures will be warm enough to start to bubble up some of these thunderstorms. Temperatures to the north, 87 degrees. Some spots will almost hit 90 to the south, and we're right in that ballpark again tomorrow afternoon in central Indiana. The wind will be light. 1 o'clock, you begin to see these light specks show up. These are thunderstorms that quickly build, putting down some heavy rain. Between 1 and 4, we see the expansion still ongoing at 7, and then 7 to 11, we calm things down. Once you lose the afternoon heating, you begin to lose the thunderstorms. We'll repeat the process on a Saturday. That's your most likely day to have interruptions to your outdoor activities. Second half of the weekend, diminished chance for rain. Temperatures a little bit cooler, noticeably cooler as we get to early next week. There are your periods of thunderstorms on the Saturday. As we mentioned, the Saturday and Sunday, temperatures still warm, and we'll begin to see that change. But Saturday afternoon, there's your 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock thunderstorm development, and then it calms down a little bit in the evening. Here's 7-day planner. Monday, humidity will be the lowest. Temperatures back into the mid to 60s for overnight lows. That's not bad. Still dry Tuesday and Wednesday. That chance for thunderstorms, and about 85 on Thursday.
Kevin wore his holiday jacket tonight.
And Brad, you know you can borrow this anytime you need.
Are you, is 40 regular? We'll see. Yeah, I'm not sure. The Indians wore these jerseys tonight, these specialty jerseys. They auctioned them off for the Indiana National Guard Relief Fund, raised $8,000.
Excellent.
So, nice effort out there.
Yeah, that's nice.
We'll have some more special jerseys coming up this weekend. And as far as the game went tonight, they had the Raleigh towels passed out as well. More than 14,000 of them. Would it be enough to bring home a win? We'll have a highlights coming up.
Working for you.
And good evening, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed your holiday. The International League actually plans its master schedule around Indianapolis, having a home game on the 4th of July. That's an advantage of being the oldest franchise in the league. The night at the ballpark is a great summer tradition, and fans saw a few offensive fireworks before they pointed their eyes skyward. The Indians got a couple of runs on the board in the first inning. Will Craig gets it started with a roller into right field. That would bring Eric Gonzalez around to score, and Indy would take a 2-0 lead soon after that. Toledo answered, though, with a 4 spot in the 3rd inning. Another of the AAA All-Stars, Will Castro, bloops one into center field. That would be enough to bring the go-ahead run around. Toledo would build a 5-2 advantage. Indy got one back in the bottom of that inning. Cole Tucker sends one out to center field. It's going all the way out there to the bright green. 7th home run. Watch this on the run around. A little hop to go with it. Yeah. Indians tried to rally in the 9th as they fell behind 7-4. Jason Martin's 6th home run of the season got them within 1. But that would be it. The Mud Hens hold on for the 7-6 win. Indians have lost 6 of their last 7. It's a doubleheader at Victory Field tomorrow night, starting at 6 o'clock. Then the Indians reach their All-Star break next week, as do the major leaguers. Well, for one Indy player, he'll have a couple of extra days of work to put in. But first baseman Will Craig doesn't mind a bit. He will be the Pirates representative for the MLB Futures game on Sunday. I talked with Will about the invite in tonight's Sports Extra Spotlight. Tell me first your reaction when you get a chance to see the list of guys you get to play with in this game as much as anything.
Yeah, my first reaction was, man, I think I'm the oldest guy here. That was my first reaction, but I got to see some of the guys. I noticed I played against, Jake Rogers, who's on the Toledo team we're playing right now. And a bunch of guys I was kind of drafted with, whether they were high school guys or college guys. But yeah, my first reaction was like, man, I'm kind of old compared to some of these guys.
Does it feel like a step, though, progress for you?
Absolutely. Not everyone gets to do this. But I feel like the percentage of people that get to do this have a really good chance of having successful careers. So that's one thing that when they told me I was doing, that's the first thing I thought was like, this is another stepping stone in my career, hopefully. So
how big is it with the exposure, though, and the recognition? A little national TV game out of this. These guys, you get one more day to be seen in front of some more eyes.
Yeah, it's definitely really really cool for me. Get that people back home watch me. They don't get to watch me all the time or haven't watched me since high school. So it's really really cool for me, and I'm really excited to put on the Pittsburgh Pirates. To represent for them and represent my family as well.
Where do you feel like you've made the biggest strides in these first couple months of the season?
I think defensively has been my biggest stride. That was one thing I really took into consideration last year, halfway through the year, was I need to really, when I'm not going well in the box, how can I change the game or help my team win? And that was, being on defense, and playing as well as I can. So that's one big thing I really took into consideration and going into spring training was how am I going to make myself a better defensive player? And I've really worked hard at that.
One of those things you think makes you stand out. A lot of guys at that position can hit, but defense can be tricky sometimes. So you go for that.
Yeah, definitely. The bat's not always going to be there. There's some days you're going to feel great and it's going to be there, and there's a couple days you're going to feel like crap. I want my my teammates, like the infielders and the pitchers, to have confidence. Every time the ball's hit to them or my way, they're like, okay, this play's over. Like, they got this. So that's kind of how I want to instill, or the thought I want to instill in my teammates.
The game will feature the American League prospects against the National League prospects. It'll be a 7-inning game on Sunday at Progressive Field in Cleveland. Will leaves on Saturday, so he will miss the back end of the weekend of the Indians' last series before the break. Time for our final break. We'll be back to the desk with a last look at your forecast and the rest of tonight's news at 11 next.
On now at Value City Furniture.
I think I've introduced you to our studio mascot, Barry, before. He was out watching the fireworks with me
so
tonight.
Romantic, Kevin.
Yeah, not for very long. He's too heavy. And so we just stayed for a minute or two. Heavy showers possible tomorrow afternoon and Saturday as our rain chances come way back up.
We hope you have a great holiday and a safe one, too.
Yes, happy 4th of July.
Have a good night.